Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be talking about Battlefield 5 and its current state. The main question being, is this game worth buying or playing in 2020? I'll be analyzing some of the important key points regarding content, bugs, developer decisions and community reactions, and how the game has evolved since I've started playing. I'll pay more attention to the multiplayer aspect of the game rather than the campaign, as a large part of the community cares more about the online competitive aspect when measuring the value of this game. To start off, the game was released in the late November of 2018. After a year of the game being out, the DICE developers struggled to release content on schedule. This led to a large portion of the community feeling insulted as the game was polluted with bugs and lack of balance. Furthermore, promises of new content kept being delayed, which led more of the player base to become displeased. I myself started playing the game near the summer of 2019, and I've been playing the game consistently ever since, and the recent release of the new War in the Pacific content has made the game more enjoyable. The content includes new maps along a range of new weapons and vehicles. The Pacific War content features Iwo Jima, Pacific Storm, Wake Island and the Solomon Island maps, which have been deemed a successful addition to the Conquest and Breakthrough game modes rotation. With beautiful visuals and realistic map designs, the game has become more immersive and has attracted a number of new players as the population shows a consistent growth. After recent news regarding the next Battlefield game being potentially released as late as 2022, it seems as there may be more content planned in the future of Battlefield 5. We could see the addition of the Eastern Front, so the German-Russian War, hopefully featuring some iconic locations like Stalingrad, Leningrad, Kharkov, or maybe even as far as Berlin. In my opinion, these would be a great addition to the game, seeing as it will conclude the World War II theme without being overly broad. In addition, a worthy mention should be the Metro map, called Operation Underground, which has seen a share of its own success, a very narrow map which in my opinion emulates a very intense combat environment and creates a strong World War II theme-like atmosphere, which I could only compare to the map Devastation, which has been my #1 favorite from the original multiplayer content. Let me know in the comments down below what's your favorite map in Battlefield so far. Along with new maps came new weapons, some iconic fan favorites like the M1 Garand and the M3 Grease Gun, which have been long awaited for since the game's release. We've seen multiple new guns being added to the game via the Tides of War, and the newest chapter focusing more on adding gadgets and weapons through the progression in the ranks to receive chapter rewards. Some mentionable gadgets are the landmine and the bazooka, which I have been having lots of fun playing with as I've been impatiently waiting for the release ever since they have been showcased in the Pacific War trailers. One criticism of this reward system that I feel I should mention is that there is an option to pay real money to boost your progression, but in my opinion it isn't a game-breaking issue, as you don't get a real advantage over your opponents from these items. They're just more fun toys to use. Furthermore, the new chapter features a legendary character at the end of the rank rewards, which I think is a pretty cool goal to work towards in this chapter, and it seems as a valuable addition to anyone's collection. Some controversial aspects of the DICE developer decisions have been the adjustments of TTK, time to kill, which had an impact on the effectiveness of many guns in close quarter and long range fights. But in the late January, DICE has announced that the TTK will be rolled back. In my opinion, its initial implementation was introduced to appease new players who usually join around the Christmas holidays due to game sales. This put a stale feeling on the release of the new Pacific War content, as it seemed like taking a step forward and then taking a few steps backwards with the development decisions. But the announcement to roll it back should make the game smoother and more enjoyable again. The decision has been affected by the community's stance and communication with the developer team, which I see as a huge plus because the community was unhappy with the TTK changes and their voice has been heard out by the devs. Furthermore, some of the current issues I feel that significantly affect the gameplay experience are overpowered weapons which have a abnormally high rounds per minute rate with little to no recoil, which makes older weapons obsolete. Of course, I find it hard to complain about these guns, understanding that the game has a new meta along with new content. I am curious to see how the TTK rollback will affect the balance of the game in its current state, which I feel is lopsided to the new guns. Although every gun can be lethal in the right hands and the right playstyle, I think that the new guns and vehicles along with new gadgets is something I'll make a separate video about, as they deserve more detail and research to be put into the presentation form. But to my understanding, the balancing adjustment should make weapon classes more accurate to their appropriate ranges. For example, a Type 2A SMG might have adjustments to its damage at range, along with its recoil changing, to become less effective and become more difficult to control at longer ranges than it is right now. Personally, I've been enjoying the game, and the new content has been very welcome. I would like to see more new maps being added to the game, even if they come in the form of paid expansions, but I currently would like the developers to address the existing game bugs which arise with new content. I believe that this isn't a huge problem momentarily, but the game mechanics and server stability should be improved, which would most definitely make the game more enjoyable, and especially when someone spends multiple hours playing daily, which is when we're more likely to start noticing bugs, as the recurrence builds up our frustration. Overall, I think that Battlefield 5 is worth playing, as the content is very enjoyable and well designed. The new weapons and vehicles are definitely fun to play around with. I would like to know what you may think as part of the Battlefield community and what you would like to see from DICE. Even with the history of bad decision making from the developers, their efforts to bring us a polished Pacific War expansion has been successful, and I want to believe that the developers will continue making the right choices going forward and carry on listening to the community's suggestion on which way they should steer towards their development. This is where I'll wrap up. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more Battlefield and other gaming content, consider subscribing to my channel and check out some of my gaming montages and Let's Play series, as I regularly upload a new video, and leave a like and a comment down below to let me know what you think about Battlefield's current state, and if you agree and disagree with my points. And now, as always, I wish you all a good day or night, wherever you may be.